Hey, everybody. I cannot believe that I'm going live with my messy house behind me. Hello. I just thought it's Monday morning. Let's spend some time crocheting. I'm already crocheting anyway. So why not just invite you guys into my house with no hair and makeup and my reading glasses on because I'm crocheting and you might be crocheting too. So why not let's crochet together? So today I am making swatches for an upcoming video and I'm hanging out. So I also wanted to show you this blanket because the other day I posted a video on about surface slip stitching. And this is a blanket that I made for our daughter before she was born. And it's a basic shell stitch, very, 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 very easy. And then these lines are just surface slip stitching. I guess this is the right side. So these lines are just surface slip stitching on top of a plain fabric to make this like plaid looking effect. Oh, hi everybody. Hi Tina. Hi Brian. Hi Susan. Thanks for joining me. So I'm just hanging out crocheting today. And I thought, while I'm just hanging out crocheting, why not invite you guys in and see what we're doing? So in case you missed it, I'm going to be swatching this morning with, oh, here comes Theo. Here comes Theo. So I was just swatching today for an upcoming video. Hi, Eva. Oh, welcome, Eva. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm swatching today for an upcoming video. And while I was swatching, I thought, hey, Jeanette, thanks for joining me. I thought I would show you. There you go, kitty. I made a video last week on surface slip stitching, and a lot of you had never seen it. And I wanted to show you, hi, Ida, show you an example that I have here in the house. So this is a blanket that I made for our daughter when I was pregnant with her. And it's basically, if you can see, it's just a little shell stitch pattern. No big deal, nothing too fancy. But then the slip stitching on the surface really makes it amazing. And so it's one way that surface slip stitching can turn like a really average but lovely stitch pattern into something really interesting. And then there's just a little bit of a shell edging around it. And this was a blanket that I made for our babies. Now, I don't think this was my pattern. This was before I was a designer. So this was probably out of a leisure arts book. Because back when I was just a new stitcher, I just absorbed every leisure arts book that I could get my hands on. I used to take my the 20% off coupon at Joann Fabrics. And I used to every week I would just try and go buy a new book. And I had dozens of books. And so I would get these books from Leisure Arts. And I'm pretty sure this is a blanket from one of them. But gosh, my girl is now 17. So it's at least 17 years old. So pretty cool. Anyway, this was surface slip stitching. And so go back and watch that video if you're interested in learning how to add surface slip stitching onto your work. So let's see. So while I was talking about that, before I was a designer, I used to take my 20% off coupon and go to Joann's and buy as many books and stuff as I could to really compile the projects, the patterns. And that's partly how I became a designer, because at one point in the back of the book, they used to give credit to the designer, for on page whatever, the designer was so-and-so, and they used to give credit. And then at one point it hit me, hello, these are real people. These are real people who create patterns to go in books. And if other people do that, that must be like a job. And so maybe I should do that too. So that kind of got me thinking about, well, somebody has to design these patterns. And so why shouldn't it be me? So that was one thing. I'm going to read your chats here for a minute. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Pink. Hi, Eva. Hi, Jeanette again. Yes. Okay. Very pretty. Thank you, Jeanette. Desiree says, you're new to my channel. Hey, well, thank you. Thanks for joining me. So I don't usually do live posts. I usually have edited post with hair and makeup and decent lighting. And I thought, I'm just crocheting today. So while I'm crocheting, I thought I would just invite you in and see if you wanted to sit and crochet with me for a while. Is anyone else crocheting today? Are you watching from work? Are you watching from home? Like, what are you doing? I'm making swatches. I'm making swatches for an upcoming video. I'm hoping to get this video up this week, Wednesday or next week. I have several things on my schedule. Like I told you in the last live post, when I did the giveaway, I've got like a book review I want to do and several projects. So, hey, Stephanie. Hey, nice to see you. Hi, Bobby. Paula. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Making stuff for a craft fair, Susan. Are you crocheting things for a craft fair? Or are you making like bizarre items? Are you making out of wood? Are you making out of fabric? What's your thing that you sell at bazaars, and how does that go for you? Brian, stealth watching from work. Oh, okay, we'll be quiet. Don't tell the boss that you're watching a crochet video. I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna tell. Stephanie, you've packed a bunch of yarn for your long road trip. Yeah, I need to call you. Stephanie's my neighbor. And I think she and I are both going to be gone at the same time. So we can't watch each other's pets like we normally do. So I've got to figure that out. So, Stephanie, if you have somebody watching your pets, give me a call, or text me and let me know who's watching your pets, if they'll come and do ours too. Otherwise, I'm going to call Chickie's friend and see if she can come over and do ours. So anyway, a little bit of a little bit of personal business there. So, Susan, you're doing dishcloths and coasters. Those are awesome because, you can whip those up and people want different colors, and you can experiment with stitch patterns. Stephanie, yes, you are. Okay. That's so funny. We are on the same. I think Chickie told you that we're going to both be gone at the same time. So next week, everybody, friends, I think me and my family are headed out for a vacation. And so I'm going to try to compile a bunch of videos today and tomorrow to make sure that I have plenty so that I can post them while we're away. And then I'm really hoping that I get some time to just do some live posts from wherever we are. We'll do like a live, hey, let's crochet from the road. Let's crochet from, probably won't crochet from the car, but I will crochet in the car, but I probably won't do a live post from the car. But I hope that I can do a live post from poolside or beachside, depending on how it all goes. So we'll see if I can get some Wi-Fi and get that worked out. That'll be kind of fun. I love vacation for designing, actually. Let me read some chat notes, and then I'm going to tell you more about my train of thought about designing while on vacation. So, hi from South Carolina. Hello. Desiree's finishing a summer cover-up, but feel bummed because it's starting to cool off. Already? Geez. Okay. Monica says, hi, Monica. Linda, hello from Massachusetts. Hi, Chris. Hello from Florida. Christy's Crochet Corner. Hello, everybody. So, designing while on vacation. It's really kind of interesting how I find vacation really inspiring design-wise. So I first noticed it probably when our kids were like, I don't know, 7 and 5-ish. So we surprised them with a Disney vacation over Christmas. So we literally gave them the gift Christmas Eve or whatever. And then we told them to pack up, and we packed up and we left the day after Christmas, and we drove from Ohio to Walt Disney World the day after Christmas. And we were in Florida the week after Christmas through New Year's. And actually we were on our way home from Florida, driving home. It must have been the 2nd of January because it's Patrick's birthday, and it was their first day. They were supposed to be back at school, but they were little, and I'm like, let's just skip school today. I think, well, anyway, they ended up having a snow day. So as we were driving, I called the school to tell them that our kids would not be in, and they're like, hey, it's a snow day, so you're not missing school anyway. But as we were driving up through Tennessee, and I was seeing that, we had a snow day at home, it must be cold at home. And I realized that it had been kind of balmy when we left on vacation. And so I didn't pack there, and it does come back to crochet, I promise. I realized that I didn't pack any of their like winter coats and hats and stuff because when we left the day after Christmas, it happened to be a balmy day, and it didn't really occur to me that we would need hats and scarves and gloves and stuff when we returned a week later. So somewhere in Tennessee, I had called the school to say, hey, my kids won't be into school today. And they said, school's closed anyway because of snow. And I was like, oh, snow. It must be cold at home. And so I whipped out my crochet. I had a ball of Red Heart Super Saver with me. Of course, I always have yarn with me. And I started making Chicky. Chicky is what my code name for our daughter. Her name. Now she's old enough that I can say her name, but her name is Mara. But all the years I've been blogging, the last 10 years or so, I've always called her Chicky online instead of her real name, just because of her privacy. But anyway, I started making her a hat in the car. And because I knew, oh, it's cold, like, let's get her a hat to like unpack the car. And I'm in Tennessee. I've got a couple hours. Let's whip out a hat. So I designed a hat in the car for her. And so I started making it in Tennessee. And by the time we got home from Tennessee to Southern Ohio, so I don't know, 3-4 hours, I had designed a hat for her to wear. And so she had it on when she exited the car to come back in from vacation. And that hat became the driftwood cap. So the driftwood cap, if you look on, I now have patterns on lovecrochet.com. I've had patterns on Ravelry for years, and crochet.com. I'm putting it in chat, lovecrochet.com. And then if you just search my name in the search box, and by the way, my name is Ellen Gormley, in case some of you are new. My name is Ellen Gormley. So that I submitted that hat design to Interweave Crochet magazine years ago, and they bought it. And so that I remade it in the yarn that they wanted. Like, that's how magazines work. I remade the hat in the yarn they wanted, and it became one of my most popular patterns of all time. So after it was published in Interweave Crochet, then I got the rights back to that particular pattern, and I was allowed to sell the pattern. So that pattern, it's called the Driftwood Cap, and it is now for sale on Ravelry. If you're not familiar with Ravelry, Ravelry.com. It's a free platform. It's kind of like a database of patterns, and then they also have like lots of chat rooms, but I stay away from those. They used to be really cool, and then it's just gotten so big and lots of controversy, and I don't like talking about politics, and I just want to talk about yarn. So I stay away from the chat rooms in Ravelry. But my patterns for sale, the same pattern, the Driftwood Cap pattern, is also for sale on lovecrochet.com. So if that's a new platform for you guys that you've never seen before, you might want to go check it out. It's very pretty. It's very fresh looking, and I think you'll like it. And so the Driftwood Cap was a hat that I designed for our daughter on our way home from vacation. And it became a really popular pattern. And now our family, we have, I guess, no less than 4 driftwood caps floating around the house because it's incredibly stretchy for a crocheted hat. And it's so easy to make, and it's a lot of fun to make. And because it's stretchy, they stay on your head, which is so nice, because often crochet hats, it's like they get stretchy and then they stretch out and then they don't contract and hug anymore. Well, this one is, I made the original version in the Red Heart, and then the one for the magazine, I ended up making in a wool. I think it was 100% wool. I don't know. So many years ago, I don't even remember the variety of yarn. I think it was a Skacel yarn. But anyway, because of the stitching, it actually hugs. So I can go out and shovel snow in this hat and it stays put, which is really, I think, nice for a crocheted hat. So it's a unisex hat too. So my husband has one, and my son has one, and my daughter has one, and I have 2. So I guess we're up to 5 driftwood caps in the house. I still have the original one that I made for Chicky years ago, and it was red and had a brim to it, but the rest of the hat in general, most of them do not have a brim to them. Anyway, so um, check out the driftwood cap on my Love Crochet. It's also on the website, ellengormley.com, if you click on the patterns tab. So, but also, I want to hear more things from you guys. What else you're doing? So tell me more. Okay, for Love of Life and Crochet says, how do you spell the name of the cat, please? Do you have a tutorial for it? I do not have a tutorial for it. I should make one, shouldn't I? Driftwood cap is the name of the cap. And it's a very easy pattern. It's all post stitches and front post stitches, and it's worked in the round. And so I will work on getting a tutorial for you because it will be easy. And that's something I can do for sure. Like I make that pattern whenever anybody asks me for a hat. We've had this conversation before. Not everybody is crochet worthy, but the driftwood cap is such a great unisex hat. You can make it in any fiber. You can make it to fit any person, and I can make it fast. And so it's just a great hat. So in addition to being a quick and easy hat to make, it's good for people who are both maybe don't understand how much time it takes to make a crocheted item, but it's also really good for people who really do know how much it takes to make a crocheted item because it's a really functional, good project. So the driftwood cap. Okay. Hey, that's cool. For the Love of Life and Crochet says you'd like to make it with the girls for your next class. Fantastic. So yes, when's your next class? I'll try and get you a tutorial up. You just bought the Walmart Comfy Cotton named Driftwood. I didn't even know they had that. Working on your first corner to corner for a Christmas gift, Jeanette. Those are so much fun. That's so much fun. I just learned corner to corner maybe 2 years ago when I was on Knit and Crochet Now season 8. Meredith was playing with it behind the scenes, and I ended up demonstrating corner to corner on camera. So that was a lot of fun for me. I like the corner to corner. Okay, so we were talking about vacation. So there were a couple other times when vacation really inspired my design. And one of them was another road trip. I love being a passenger on a road trip because it's so much time to crochet and I get so much done. So one of the times, hi, Ruthie. Hello. One of the times on vacation, I actually spent the entire trip just making an hourglass shape where I was practicing learning the decreases for a stitch pattern and practicing how to increase again so that I can make a sweater. And I actually ended up designing, I made the swatch, and then Stephanie, yep, that's it, Stephanie. Stephanie posted a picture. Yes, can you post pictures in chat? If you can post pictures in chat, she has a photo of the original driftwood cap that I made for Chicky in the car from Tennessee. She must have found it on my blog or whatever. And so if you can, I don't know if you can even post pictures in these chats, but if you can, Stephanie, that'd be great. So anyway, while I was driving, that's when I was learning how I was going to decrease and increase a shell stitch pattern that I wanted to use for a sweater. And that pattern then became the Larkspur sweater, Larkspur sweater that was published in Interweave Crochet. But I don't know where that one is now. Like I don't know if I have the rights to that. I think I do have the rights to that one, but because it's a garment, people don't usually buy garment patterns. So I probably didn't invest the time and it was years ago, like 8 years ago. So I probably didn't invest the time in getting that pattern transferred over to my format so that I could sell it. But if you Google, if you're curious what it looks like, you can search Larkspur sweater, and I typed it there in chat. And I had learned I did a lot of learning in the car on the way on vacation, and how to do the decreases and increases that would be necessary to make that sweater. Crocheting while other people driving keeps you calmer. Totally, absolutely. It's kind of nice to not have to look around and see the traffic and get nervous about missing the turn or whatever. as long as you don't get car sick, right? Probably some of you might get car sick while crocheting in the car. Luckily, if I'm in the front seat, that's not a problem for me. And I find that a lot of the time, I don't look while I'm crocheting anyway, and I can spend a lot of time looking out the window, and so that helps with the motion sickness. Okay, one more thing I can think of, at least one more story about vacation. So one year on vacation, I brought my hairpin loom with me, my hairpin lace loom. And I do have a video here on the platform of beginner how to crochet with a hairpin lace loom. And of course, I have the Annie's class, Learn Crochet Lace. And that class, I think, Learn to Crochet Lace, my contract might be up on that one. Anyway, if you go to ellengormley.com and click on the videos tab, scroll down are all my Annie's classes, and there's a Learn to Crochet Lace, broomstick, hairpin lace, and bruise lace class. And while on vacation, I had taken my hairpin lace loom with me, and it was my endeavor during that vacation to learn how to hairpin lace. And so I did. So on vacation, my task that time was to learn how to use my hairpin lace loom, and I did. And as a result of that, I designed projects that eventually went into the Annie's Learn to Crochet Lace with Ellen Gormley class. So vacation has proved to be really fruitful for me in the past. So this year, when I go on vacation, I need to really think about what I'm going to bring, I need to plan out like what my strategy is to make the most of my time on the car and, wherever we go and in the hotel room. I need to make sure and bring some good stuff. Let's read chat here real quick. Your husband drives like a maniac, so crochet definitely helps. I get it. Absolutely. Okay. You have to be on the highway, no back roads. Oh boy, isn't that the truth, Kimmy? Yeah, that makes sense. Like if you're on the highway and everything's like pretty smooth, but gosh, back roads of like Tennessee, like on our way to like Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg or whatever, that's hard to crochet on those kind of roads, isn't it? It's like, oh boy. So beautiful. Certainly with that kind of beautiful scenery, it's better to be in the moment, I guess, and watch the scenery go by than to be crocheting and not looking. But anyway, I get you. I absolutely see that. On the highway, it's much easier to crochet than on those back roads. Checking to see if Theo's still behind me, but he must have jumped down. Crochet helps you with your downtime at the hospital. Absolutely. Lisa, I hope that you are a worker at the hospital and not visiting often. Absolutely. My mom has passed when I was 24, and we spent way too much time in the hospital there at the end. And so I absolutely crocheted a ton in the hospital. So I get it. It's a very good activity to just kind of keep your mind and hands busy and try and cope with whatever life throws at you. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I can't believe it's been 20 years already. And, but still, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I was at the hospital this weekend too, but not nearly as bad. It was okay. So, okay, long story. I'll try and make it short. So my best pal, my best running friend, Lisa, was competing in the Ohio Ironman triathlon this weekend. So the Ohio one is only half of the length. So I know you guys are probably not into some of you may not be into all this fitness stuff, so I'll keep it to a minimum. So the Ironman half triathlon is a 2-mile open water swim? No, I guess it's a 1. I guess it's a 1 mile open water swim and then a 56-mile bike ride followed by a 13.1 marathon race. And you do them all like back to back. One person does it and that you try to do as fast as you can, but really you're competing against yourself, and it's a big accomplishment to compete. Anyway, my best pal Lisa was competing this weekend, and she asked me to go with her and be her support crew. So I, of course, said yes. So we went on our road trip, and oh my gosh, she did fantastic in the swim, so fast. And I was tracking her on my app. They have like GPS, so I can track what she's doing and where she is. And then I had a bunch of gear for her if she needed it, like if I could find her along the way. And then she was doing fantastic on her bike. Like the first times started coming in, and she was doing great. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I moved to a spot where I think I'm going to be able to see her. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. Her husband calls me. I'm like, oh crap. So he had stayed home with the kids. He called me on the phone. He's like, Lisa wrecked her bike. Ah. And so she was conscious, but that they had called an ambulance and they had taken her from the course to the hospital. And so he had called me so that I could go find our car and go and get her at the hospital. So I ended up with her at the hospital. She is okay. She's conscious. She ended up with 20 stitches in her leg and a sprained ankle on the other leg. And so I was in the hospital yesterday in the ER anyway, but I did have yarn with me. I had yarn with me during cheering for the Ironman competition. I did crochet for a few minutes. Oh, I even took a photo. Because I do that when I was waiting. But then when the competitors started coming through, then I put my crochet down so that I could cheer. And so let's see if I can show you my picture here without giving too much away. Okay, here's the photo I took, and it's a little bit of a sneak peek there. It's fuzzy, so you can't really see it, which is probably okay. So that was me crocheting yesterday, watching the Ironman competition. Anyway, pretty color, huh? Anyway, that's what I was crocheting yesterday while I was watching the Ironman. So yes, crocheting at the hospital is a good thing. Hopefully, though, you're crocheting at the hospital because you work there and not because you're visiting somebody. You love my stories. Thanks. All my stories. Everybody else is so tired of my stories. So let's see. So anyway, Lisa didn't finish the race, but it's okay. She has finished that distance before. I know she can do it. She'll try again after she's healed up. So it'll be fine, but it sucked for sure yesterday. Stephanie, crocheting is a great break from studying. Yeah, it clears your mind and helps you retain your knowledge. Absolutely. Oh, of course. So Stephanie is my neighbor. I taught her how to crochet, and you have been one of my best students of all time. I'm so grateful that you love it as much as I do, and you're just good at it. So you're so easy to teach. Yeah, Lisa, I hope she recovers quickly. I imagine she will. She's a tough cookie. She's a nurse herself. Lisa is a nurse. She's a night supervisor at a rehabilitation hospital. And so she's a tough cookie. She'll do great. I mean, she was talking to the doctor in the ER and counting stitches along with it. She was she's a trooper. She was monitoring her own blood pressure and stuff. I'm like, I have no idea what that means. What do you think? And she's like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, okay, I'll believe you. So yeah, she's fine. I'm sure she'll heal quickly. Oh no, Lisa, you're sick. Okay, so you do have downtime in the hospital. Okay, well, Lisa, I will say a prayer for you, and we'll keep you busy. Hopefully, making videos will help keep you company while you're in the hospital, and we will help keep you occupied and busy. So hopefully, it'll make time go more peacefully for you, smoothly and easily. Health and healing to you. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I hope you feel better, Lisa. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So crocheting while on vacation has been a very productive time for me. So I now this last year's vacation, I wonder if I have a photo of this too. Last year's vacation, I was on a really tight deadline. And I had to take work with me. I can't, as a crochet designer, deadlines do not stop because you have vacation. So I had to take work with me. I had to take it. And so I took this blanket, if I can find it. Where is it? I took it from Ohio all the way to South Carolina, all the way, no, where were we? Yeah, South Carolina, and then back through Tennessee. I ended up mailing it from Tennessee to get it to my deadline on time. Shoot, up there it is. Good. Okay. So this is what I was working on. This is what I was working on last year on vacation. So I had to take all of that with me. This is, you can't tell, but the yellow is actually like a lime green. And it's, I think it's called Nouveau Chic Granny Blanket. And it's in Marley Bird's Chic Sheep yarn. So this pattern is a free pattern on redheart.com. So I'm typing the name of it here. Marley Bird and I are good pals, actually. I'm not sure if it says granny blanket, but when she launched her yarn last year, she asked me to make a project to go in her yarn to help promote the yarn. So the Nouveau Chic Granny Blanket, and this is it again. It's like medium gray, pale gray, dark black, and then like a lime green. And her yarn is Chic Sheep by Marley Bird. And you can find that at redheart.com. And did I spell that right? I did. It's just I have the weird capitalization going, but it is spelled correctly. Anyway, so Marley and I are pals, and she asked me to make the blanket for her collection, and I did. So that was a design of mine that I had been really wanting to make for a very long time and was having a hard time finding just the right place for her. So when she said, I need something spectacular, I'm like, I think I've got it for you. I think I've got this. It is an advanced pattern. It's not an easy beginner pattern. Don't get me wrong. It is a gazillion ends, but I think you'll agree the end result is so worth it. It's a beautiful blanket. I love it. It's too bad I don't get it back, but hey, it was a lot of fun to make for sure. Let's see. Chic Sheep by Marley Bird. That yarn, by the way, Chic Sheep Yarn by Marley Bird is at redheart.com. It's like $9.99 a skein. It's like 186 yards a ball. It's 100% merino washable wool. And I know all of this because that might be a hint to my next book. Anyway, so it's a great yarn. It's a really lovely yarn, and I think you're going to like it. So go take a look at that and look at the Nouveau Chic blanket in at redheart.com. It is a free pattern there, but like I said, it's an advanced pattern. I think perhaps Marley, if she hasn't already, might be making a tutorial for that blanket on her channel because I sold the pattern to her. So she is making tutorials on all the projects that are made in her yarn to promote her yarn. So I will probably not be doing a tutorial here on that blanket because I gave that to her so that she could promote her yarn on her channel. So check out Marley Bird, search it in YouTube. I know that I follow her, but I forget the exact name of her channel. I guess it's just Marley Bird. You'll find it. And you know Marley Bird, right? Everybody knows Marley. So check that out. You have it. Okay. So the Chic Sheep yarn is brand new in stores in the United States. So we just hit Hobby Lobby like a week ago. It's hitting Joann's now across the country, and it will be I think it's going to be in Michael's stores in Canada, but not Michael's stores in the United States. I'm pretty sure because I can text Marley about it and ask her. But I think that's the last. I think that's the last update I heard. Hey, Marley, is your new yarn in Joann's all over the country? ? And it'll be in Michael's just in Canada, right? ? Okay. So she provided yarn for my new book. So let's just say that. So it's a great yarn. And actually, a friend of mine, should I say it out loud? I don't know if she's going to hear it. A friend of mine is having So if you are having a baby and you're a friend of mine, don't listen to this part. So I'm going to make a baby blanket for her out of chic sheep. Okay, you can come back now. So we weren't talking about anybody having babies. No, we weren't. So let's see. Okay, Lisa, you have to go. Okay, well, be good, be safe, be well. Take care. Thanks for coming. Okay. Barbara here. Sorry to hear about my friend. Love crocheting because you're visually impaired and you can still crochet. Awesome. It takes your mind off your troubles. Absolutely. It's great for coping with all sorts of things in life. Kimmy P, no, I'm not great. I've been a roller coaster of life and just know the importance of knowing that someone is there. Absolutely. So yes, prayers to everyone out loud. We'll just assume that everybody could use some good vibes, right? Okay, see you later, Lisa. Okay, feel better, everybody. Okay, well, I'm going to crochet a few more minutes here. I'm just, like I said, I was swatching for an upcoming video. I'm not going to reveal what this is because I want you to come back and watch the swatching video when it goes live. But I'm swatching right this minute. This yarn is turning out really interesting looking. And then also at the beginning of the video, if you missed it, I was talking about how I did the surface slip stitch crochet video last week. And I made this blanket for my daughter before she was born. And it's a shell stitch, and I added slip stitch lines to the top to make it look plaid. And so this is an example of how slip stitch surface crochet can really elevate the project, a basic project, into something really, really cool. So anyway, so Jamie, you're disabled and have 25 surgeries. Wow. Crocheting takes your mind off your pain from arthritis. Okay. Oh, gosh. Well, I hope you feel better. I hope you find a way. I hope crocheting helps. Arlene, hello. Sorry that you're really late. Arlene is our last giveaway winner. Hey, Arlene. I mailed your yarn. What day did I mail it? Friday? Mailed it on Friday. So it should be there any day. I did get a tracking number. I forget when they told me it would arrive. Let's see, today's Monday and I shipped it on Friday. So I think you should be getting it like any day. So congratulations again, Arlene. See, it pays to be a subscriber. So be a subscriber. Hey, hit the like button on this video. Hey, if you're in chat room for me, I appreciate it. Always click the notification bell because then hopefully you have a better chance of being notified when I'm going to go live and when new videos are posted. And keep watching. So today, after we're done, hanging out, if you want to just go to my channel and click the play all button, and you can even turn down the sound if you want to, and just play the videos all day long. Oh, I've got a reply here back from Marley. Okay. Only 100 Joanne stores this fall have the Chic Sheep yarn. Only at Michael's in Canada at this time. All Hobby Lobbies over the country right now, but they only have 8 of the colors. And then some other stores in Canada, but she is not listing them just yet. Also online at Hirschner's, at Love Knitting and Love Crochet. I'm on a live stream video on YouTube right now, and I'm telling everybody about your yarn. So that'll make her happy. So thanks. So thanks, Marley. Okay, so that was straight from the horse's mouth. So 100 Joanne stores this fall. So not all Joanne's, but I know our Joanne's like went out of business, like they closed up. So there's fewer Joanne's than there used to be. So hopefully your Joanne's is going to get the yarn. Then Michael's in Canada right now, Michael's only in Canada right now, and all Hobby Lobbies across the country, but they only have 8 colors. So I think there's actually like 24 colors. So, because we got to have fun picking names for colors. That was so great. Anyway, there's a lot of colors. So check out redheart.com. And she said it's also on Hirschner's online and Love Knitting and Love Crochet. So you can check that out. I think also that Nouveau Chic blanket I showed you that I made out of chic sheep yarn is on lovecrochet.com also. So remember, I sent you there to lovecrochet.com to look for the free, or actually, the driftwood cap pattern is not free, but that pattern is there. The Nouveau Chic blanket is at lovecrochet.com. It is free. And the chic sheep yarn you can buy at lovecrochet.com as well. So I hope you got all of that. Okay. Okay, keep it up, keep it up. You want to win some yarn? Okay, okay. So let's see. We've got all the giveaways are closed right now. I've got more scheduled. I think I have a book review coming up before I give away more yarn. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So please stay tuned. Let's see. You can't wait to try her yarn. It's really good. It's a really quality yarn. It's wool, but it's very smooth. It's very soft. And it's machine washable. So you'll love it. You know what? Marley's up early. She's in Colorado and I'm in Ohio. So she's up pretty darn early answering her text this morning. So thank you, Marley. Let's see. No Joanne's around you. Yeah, I know. We had so many, and then they just keep disappearing, and they're like making a superstore instead, but it's like not convenient now. Like there used to be a Joann's like down the street, and it's like not anymore. They closed up most of them and like kind of merged them together and made a superstore, but it's further away, near all the intersections of the highways. So, hey, we got to do what we got to do to keep these craft stores in business, right? So make your pilgrimage to the local yarn store or the big box yarn store or whatever and load up your yarn and keep them in supply, because if we don't buy it, they'll stop carrying it. It's the way of the world. So yeah, Joann's, man, I used to love Joann's. I used to take my 20% off coupon or whatever and go buy some books and tools and yarn, wait for my sale to go get my yarn so that I could make projects. So absolutely. So I started crocheting as a kid. I think I was about 8, I think is when I learned to crochet. My mom crocheted, and then my great aunt lived next door and she used to crochet with thread. And I don't really remember who taught me, but between the two of them, I learned to crochet. And then I remember like my mom and I making a blanket when I was like 13. We made a blanket for my grandmother's birthday, and it's a granny square blanket. And we just had a bunch of yarn scraps in a bag, and we just took turns just grabbing random colors. And I still have that blanket. I think it's down in our TV room, because all the yarns were just like loose in a bag. Like it's actually mixed fibers. So like some of them have felted a little bit because I didn't know they were wool. My mom, we didn't know the difference between wool and acrylic back then. It was just yarn you buy. So over the years, the wools have felted and then the acrylics have stayed the same. So and now I try to keep the blanket up because it's pretty old, because I'm pretty old and we made it when I was like 13. So what was my train of thought there? I totally forget what my train of thought was. Oh, when I learned to crochet. So I know that I was crocheting by 13 or so, 14. And, but I know that I crocheted earlier too, because my very first project was a Rubik's Cube out of granny squares, for real, like for real. So I must have been like 8 or 10. And I made like a red granny square, a blue granny square, a green one, a yellow one, a white one, or whatever. And then I whip stitched them together to make a cube, but it was really kind of a ball because it didn't really have structure, but it was squares and it was put together. And that was one of my first projects. Boy, I wish I had that. I have no idea where it is, but it's a fond memory. Yep, I made a crocheted Rubik's Cube. It was probably my first design ever. Isn't that funny? Child of the 80s. Okay, so let's see. I want to read your notes here. You have a Joann's and a Michael's and a Hobby Lobby within 5 miles of each other. Wow. About 20 minutes from you. So when you go, you try and hit them all. Absolutely. That's cool. Love your Joann's. If they left, you'd be in withdrawal. Yeah. I'd have to see a therapist. I get you. All right. Good morning, Sandra. Hello. Too convenient, Desiree. No Hobby Lobby for you. All right. That's funny. You just woke up, Dawn. Hey, Dawn. Good morning. Good to see you. Hobby Lobby is almighty 2 hours. Oh, goodness. You learned young too? did you guys all learn as children or did you guys learn as adults? Who taught you to crochet? Very cool about the Rubik's Cube. Isn't that funny? You want to make a 3D blanket following from a picture. You mean like a 3D blanket where it's flat but it appears 3D because the shapes are all like rhombuses or whatever? That'd be cool. Okay, funny. Oh, almost 2 hours away, not almighty 2 hours. Oh, that's funny. Okay. You learned as an adult, learned 2.5 years ago. Wow, Linda, you taught yourself about 7 months ago. Awesome. Boy, you really got bit by the bug, didn't you? So yeah, ask me questions if you need help. I try to do on the micro crochet lessons playlist, I try to do itty bitty lessons that are all the things that people forget to tell you when you're learning to crochet so that you can like catch up on all the basic itty bitty skills that people just assume you know because they forget that you don't know what you don't know yet. Anyway, self-taught from books, absolutely. Learned in March, you're already making garments, Desiree. Wow. Okay. You guys are amazing. Okay. You don't remember anything you made back except for scarves, right? Your mom taught you in high school, Brian. First project was the Afghan that you still use every winter. That is so awesome. Yep, I tell you. So I know I learned, like I said, the basic granny square from my mom, but then I really didn't like learn a variety of stitches until I was in grad school and I was buying like every leisure arts book I could get my hands on from Joann's every time I had a coupon. And then I would just read the books and look at the diagrams until I figured it out. Now here's a tip. Here's a little story for you. Okay, I'm going to grab this blanket. I've got a blanket right here. This blanket, I'm knocking it with my camera. This blanket is 20 years old at least. Okay. And I made this while I was in grad school for my husband. We were dating at the time. And this stitch, this is a secret, and I'll deny it if you repeat this. So this drop stitch here wasn't supposed to be like this, but I misunderstood the instructions because I was new. I was a new crocheter. This stitch was actually supposed to go in the middle double crochet of this group. It was supposed to attach right there, but I didn't understand. And I like looped this all the way down. Look at this. Isn't that funny? And I did like most of the blanket this way. And it's like this could snag so easily, but I did most of the blanket this way. And then I realized what I had done, that I had been doing this stitch, this drop double crochet wrong all of that time. Look at this big gap. I'd been doing it wrong, like the whole blanket. And I finally realized it like 3/4 of the way through the blanket. And then it's like, it's too late. Like you can't go back and do it. You can't undo it all. And I couldn't, this blanket is like queen size, by the way. This thing is massive. So I couldn't go back and redo it. And I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it right because then it wouldn't match all the stitches, all the squares that I had already done. So I went ahead and finished the blanket wrong. And nobody knows that. Nobody knows. So, people ask you, it's like, or people say like, oh, I made a mistake and I'm a perfectionist and now I have to rip it out. Or now I've lost enthusiasm. It has to go to timeout because I feel I messed it up and I want to fix it and it's wrong. It's like, it's just yarn. It's okay. Nobody's going to know that you made a mistake. Even a repeated mistake over and over again on every square. Like people don't know that you did it wrong. They just see a blanket with these long stitches. And hey, maybe that's how designing starts. It's like you made a mistake and hey, I just invented a new stitch. So it's okay. So if you make a mistake in crochet, it's not that big of a deal. Just either go with it and finish and don't tell anybody and it's become a new thing. Or if you really need to rip out and redo it, then do it. But don't let little mistakes in life get you down because it's not that big of a deal. It's just yarn. There's bigger mistakes in life we all can make, right? So anyway, so this is a blanket. It is black. I think you can tell from the camera that it is black and gray and white. And it's just a granny square with a drop stitch in it. And it was one of the first blankets I ever made when I started back up making blankets when I was in grad school. So, oh, this monster. This thing's queen size. It's heavy. 20 years later, and it's still looking good. We're still using it. So, gosh, what other blankets do I have within reach? There's one over there. Now that one, that's a felt blanket that Patrick got for Christmas. So that's not crochet, but I guess I don't have any other crochet in this room right now. But trust me, there's crochet all over this house. So maybe next time I'll do another show and tell on another day. See, if I tell you all my stories today, though, like I'm not going to have any more stories to tell you. Like once I tell you my stories, like I got to create more stories, don't I? So I don't want to give away all my stories all at once. I got to entertain you on another day with my random mistakes and and hoopla. Okay, Marianne, you learned to crochet. Oh, I missed Susan's comment. I missed it. Okay. Okay. Oh, you learn about nine. You learn about 9 or 10. Good. Very good. Okay. As a child, but honestly, you don't remember who taught you. Yeah, I was like that too. I wasn't sure if my mom taught me or my aunt. You're one of those children who asked a lot of questions to anyone making anything. Oh, that's good. You're too OCD, Susan. Yeah, see, it's just yarn though, honey. Don't stress yourself out about it. But I get it. You want it to be as perfect as it can be, and you know you can do it right. But um, in the design world, I've learned that, a deadline, sometimes you don't get a second chance. You don't have extra time to remake it. So, it's like you stick a slip stitch, stitch marker on the spot you messed up and say, I screwed up. Don't photograph this part. Put that in the back. Make sure if you're doing a close up, don't do a close up of this spot. Tech editor, that spot is an error. Don't check my instructions based on that spot because I screwed up. Sometimes you have to do that just to get it done. It's better to have it done 99% correctly on time than have it be 100% late. So you just got to do what you got to do. Beautiful blanket. You wish they had YouTube. No kidding. Wouldn't that have been great? Because I also learned from books. But hey, we do what we got to do. So yes, yeah. Well, yeah. Every time, yes, Kimmy. When it's your project, so it's different from anyone else's on the planet, and so that's what makes it special. I have a blanket my mom made for me. It was a broomstick blanket. It's downstairs, but it's a broomstick blanket, and there's one row that's wrong. There's one row that she like did it on the wrong side, or she forgot to turn or something, and I don't care. I think it's cute. It's like her signature. So I just am honored, touched, because I'm going to get teary just thinking about it. But when I think about a crocheted gift, like the blanket my mom made me, or the blanket that we made for my grandmother, every inch of that yarn flowed through our fingers to the recipient. So, like, every inch was encompassed by her. And my grandmother's blanket encompassed by us. It went through our fingers. Every inch of it is wrapped up in us as we gave it to her. And that's a really, like, I don't know, that's an amazing thought to me, to think that, okay, it's like, okay, you make it and it's, I'm trying to think of another craft that doesn't do that, but you can't make a blanket and not touch every inch of it while you're making it. But other crafts, I think you can be more hands off. I don't know. I'll have to think about that, because pottery, your hands are on. Woodworking, your hands are on. But anyway, that's what it stuns me about crocheted work. It's like, when you are hugging yourself with a blanket made by someone, you are literally wrapping yourself in something that they touched every single inch of it. And that's meaningful to me. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. The blanket looks purple online. It's actually black. I'm glad I asked. Thank you. Okay. Hey, Marley. Hey, how are you? Hey, everybody. Marley's in chat. So I told you, so I was telling them, Marley, about the Nouveau Chic blanket, because I was telling them stories about all the inspiration that I've gotten on vacations over the years. And that's how my driftwood cap pattern was designed during vacation. And this is you too. This is you texting me too. And I learned how to do hairpin lace while I was on vacation. I learned increases and decreases for my larkspur sweater while I was on vacation 1 year. And the Nouveau Chic blanket was the last vacation, and that was the product of that vacation. And so I was telling them that they can get the free pattern at lovecrochet.com, and they can buy the yarn at Red Heart. They can buy the yarn at lovecrochet.com. And I was telling you, Marley, that, and hopefully our pal is not going to listen and I'm not ruining the secret, but you and I have a pal, Marley, in common who's having a baby. And I'm going to be using your yarn to make her a present, but don't tell her. Don't tell her. Shh. So anyway, so it also, Marley, you supplied yarn for my book. So I'll text you a photo later, but you supplied yarn for my next book, and the theme is still a secret, so don't say it out loud. But Marley supplied chic sheep yarn for my new book, which will be coming out with Interweave next July. Oh, goody. Okay, so Marley's saying in chat that you two have already made a special something for our friend in common. So you made a hat and booties. Awesome. I'm making a blanket. So we're not overdoing. We're not like, we'll have this baby covered from head to toe with your hat and booties and my blanket. And actually, I think Haley, my friend Haley's going to work with me on the blanket. So we're collabing on the blanket. So Haley is going to do half the blanket. I'm going to do half the blanket, and we'll put it together. But don't tell her. So of all the times I really want everybody to watch these videos, it's like, I hope she doesn't watch this video because I just totally blew the surprise. So anyway, what can you do? Maybe she doesn't know that she's my only friend I've got pregnant at the time. I also have two nieces. Maybe one of them is pregnant too. You never know. Oh my gosh. So, what about you, Marley? Are you busy? Like, you're probably home from Crochet Guild of America. Am I interrupting your day? Are you doing anything important as I pull you into my live stream here? I hope I didn't interrupt you doing something important. How was your weekend? Did anybody go to the Crochet Guild of America in Portland this past weekend? I didn't go this time. I do normally go. I didn't go last year, but I was there several years in the past with the magazine and just myself. I've never taught there. I've never taught classes there, but I've taught designers there. Like I've taught like the designer day. They used to have a designer day, and I taught at that a few times. So you got home from Crochet Guild and you leave for Stitches Midwest tomorrow. Oh my gosh, Marley. So you're in the middle of like tossing your suitcase on the floor and repacking it then? Oh my goodness. So I was just telling my live stream people that my family's going on vacation next week. And so since I always get inspired to design while I'm on vacation, I need to make sure and pack really good stuff, to have handy so that I could design when the inspiration hits. So Marley said, today you have a podcast here on YouTube in an hour. So, okay, everybody, go to Marley's after this and listen to her talk to Kate Gilbert of Twist Collective as soon as we're done here with me. So Marley, where's Stitches Midwest at? Isn't that in northern Chicago? Isn't that Schaumburg, Illinois, Marley? So I'll wait till you reply to that. But I'm pretty sure Stitches Midwest in the past has been Schaumburg, Illinois, near Chicago. Yes. Okay. That Marley's confirming that's true. So, great. Well, Marley, maybe you can bow to peer pressure from my chat room and have me back on the podcast when you're ready. Hopefully we don't have to wait till next July when my book is out, but I know Marley's had me on various times, but I've got coaching going on. Marley, did you know that I've got a trip to France going? So I've got, so everybody at crafttours.com, click on the crocheting link, and then there's details about my trip to France for next April. So anybody who's interested in that, you can make a payment plan. You can pay in advance with a discount. You can make a payment plan over time. It's a 9-day trip next April. I'll be teaching at least 2 classes, and we'll be doing lots of cultural, artsy trips while we're sightseeing around France. So please check that out. Also on ellengormley.com, I have a tours or travel tab, and the link is there. So anyway, yeah, so I'm hoping to do France, hoping to get plenty of people to join me, just like we did Ireland 2 years ago. So it's the same tour company. So I know they've got their act together, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really good. So check that out. So yeah, give me peer pressure. No pressure. Putting the screws to poor Marley as she visited my live stream, and I'm like ambushing her with so yeah, I've got the book, I've got coaching, coaching is for people who aspire to be crochet professionals. You can check that out on ellengormley.com. I've got unboxings here coming up with more companies. In the past, I've already done Universal and Barocco, Taki Stacey Charles, Designing Vashti, Cascade, Plymouth. All these yarn companies are signing up to do unboxings and swatchings. I just did a swatching for Universal. I've got another swatching coming up with Barocco, coming up in as soon as possible. So I've got a book review coming up with a giveaway. There's a new giveaway like every 2 weeks. So stay tuned with that. Tell me when you do Scotland, Arlene. Okay. I got to get to France first. And then if this trip, does well and we get a good crowd to go, yeah, I'd love to do a trip probably every other year, maybe. Every year if we could swing it, but every other year would be, I think, ideal because people need time to recover financially from these trips and get their payments ready to go from the next one. I understand it's a big chunk of change for people, but there's payment plans and you can share a room and that splits the cost. All the costs are included in the trip. So like all of our the airfare from the United States to the destination is included. All of the hotels are included. Probably 90% of the food is included. A couple of the like eat on your own days are on your own. If we go to excursions or museums, your entry to those are all included. Gratuities are all, I think, don't quote me. I think gratuities are pretty much all included because I don't remember paying any for Ireland 2 years ago. So, bye, Sandra. Thanks for stopping in. So how do I squeeze in family and all these things in my schedule? No kidding. It's hard, but Marley, she's crazy. If you're still in here, like Marley has 3 kids and they're all like busy, active, fun kids. And you've got a great support system at home and you've got to travel for your work and you're making it work, girlfriend. You're doing it. So keep up the great work. So yeah, I bet you're exhausted. Marley, I know you're exhausted. I'm going to end live chat here in a minute. We've already been on for a whole hour anyway, and you've got your podcast in an hour. So I totally get it if you need to go get your thoughts together, but I'm so grateful that you stopped by to talk to my peeps. So I appreciate it, girlfriend. Love you. So let's talk about getting on the podcast when you're ready. Seriously though, no pressure. It's no big deal. We'll make it happen. But I hope you have a great time in Midwest at Schaumburg. So bye, Marley. Thanks for coming. Anybody else, if you can get to Stitches Midwest in Schaumburg, Illinois next week, you can go see Marley. She's got classes, I'm sure. And so check her out. And I think I'm going to sign off for now and get back to my stitching and go check on my kiddos. You probably saw Patrick sneak through the hallway earlier. So, the life with teenagers. So, no, it's good. It's really good. So, have a great day, everybody. Keep your hooks flying and leave the mistakes. They are your signature. So check out, please. Oh, if you're done here, when you're done, click the play all tab for me and keep my YouTube videos streaming in the background all day long. Help me rack up some views. You can turn off the sound if you need to attend to other things, but as much as you can watch and keep the minutes rolling with my channel, I really appreciate it. So stay tuned for the next giveaway. Please like and subscribe, share, and keep me posted on what you'd like to see on the channel. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.